Good morning. Thank you, everybody out there, for joining us this morning. Thank you, everybody in studio, for joining us this morning. My name is Erin. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Instagram and Facebook. I'm so happy you could join me today. So, our flow this morning is going to focus a little bit more on hips and hamstrings. So, just bringing a little bit more focus into those areas today. So, that's what you can expect. I always recommend having a block or two for your practice. So if you have one, you can go ahead and grab it. If you don't, you could always use either some books or boxes, even a cushion or something like that for your practice in place of the block. All right, we ready to get started? I'm ready to get started. Okay, so we'll begin laying down today. So make yourself comfortable on your mat. Just let yourself kind of settle in. And you might not be comfortable with your legs fully extended. That might be a little uncomfortable for your lower back. So if it is, feel free just to bring your feet on the floor and you can separate them a little bit so that your knees can start to just gently knock inward a bit. So you're not worried about holding the legs up. You could also use your small cushion here to extend the legs a little and just prop the knees up. And this can be a very nice place to start. So wherever you are is where you should be. Let your eyes start to close here. And if you need to wiggle around a little bit to settle in, it's all good. And eventually the eyes close. And you'll just start to breathe in and out through your nose. Let your belly relax a lot here. Shoulders are down from the ears. And start to relax your forehead. Sometimes I tend to scrunch up my eyebrows and I don't even realize it. Relax your jaw. And then allow that ease in the face to start to spread down through the neck. Checking back in with the shoulders. Make sure they're still feeling comfortable. And just continue to take a few subtle breaths in and out here. Let's get one more here. And we'll start to breathe a little longer, inhaling down into your belly. Let your belly get nice and big. And then as you exhale, the belly will simply lower down. Inhale down into the belly, it rises. And then when you exhale, the belly lowers. Over time, your breath may get a little longer. Working on increasing the capacity of your lungs. Making each breath that you take deliver more healing oxygen to the body. And help to relieve a little stress and tension. We'll start to activate the exhale as your next round is ready. We'll still inhale the same way. Down into the belly, let it get nice and big. But now to exhale, you'll begin to squeeze the pelvic floor up slightly and draw the belly into the spine. Good. Let's continue there. Relax the effort. Belly lets really big. Exhale, engage and squeeze. Press the air out. It's almost like a Kegel there. Inhale, relax the effort. Exhale, pelvic floor squeezes upward. Lower belly draws in to support the spine. Let's get 4 more here. Three more. Exhale, pelvic floor activates, lower belly draws in and squeeze around the spine. Last few here. This is a breath you can incorporate throughout your practice. to help support your lower back as you move and to strengthen your core. Let's get two more. Good. Last one. Get really big as you breathe in. As you exhale, squeeze and engage. Pause at the end. Notice that sensation, that squeeze. And then relax the effort and just breathe freely in and out through the nose. And we'll take our right hand here and place it over on top of your heart. And the left hand will place over on top of the right. We'll pause here just for a moment. And then to mark the start of our Thursday morning journey together, we will unite our voices and energies in one sound of Om. Let's take a cleansing breath to prepare for it, inhaling through your nose. And just exhaling through the nose here. And inhaling for Om. Have a great practice, everyone. We'll start by lightly drawing the knees in towards the chest. So this will just make yourself a little heavier, letting the muscles of your back relax further into the mat. You might decide to hold opposite elbows or just keep your hands on your shins as you just find a little rock from side to side here. We'll start to take a little stirring of the knees to awaken the hips, pressing them away from you and then back in, almost as if you're making some breaststrokes with your knees. You just let your hands go along for the ride using the abdominals and the hip flexors here. And then after one or two more, however more you need, you'll start to go in the opposite direction. And at any time, if your body wants to go back the other way, you'll allow that to happen. Really let yourself tune into the sensations that you're feeling here. And your breath is the music that you dance to. We're going to start to get into the hamstrings now. So as you're ready, we'll drop the feet to the floor. Let's lift the right leg up to the sky. You can hold on to your thigh here. Maybe interlace the fingers behind it. You want to keep your right knee soft because it's very early in practice. You can bring a little movement into the ankle here if you like. You can also bend and extend your leg if that feels nice for you. I like the way that feels to just kind of warm up the hamstring a bit. And if you're bending and extending, allow yourself to do that as many times as feels right. Eventually, we will kind of still that. Keep the knees soft and draw the legs slightly closer to you, but you're also kind of anchoring the hips down to the floor. You can continue to hold at the thigh or walk your hands up a little bit more, maybe holding ankle or your calf, really whatever works for you. We're continuing to take long, slow, even breaths, starting off very gently here, about one more breath. Good. Let's drop that ankle down to cross over on top of the left leg. We're in our figure four position. We're going to take our hand to the right knee or thigh and just move it in and out a few times. So just very gently opening up the hip, not pressing super hard as it opens up, just bringing a little wiggle in there and starting to lubricate the joint with synovial fluids. And then you can take a moment to pause just wherever feels good for you. So I'm just letting my muscles press my knee open. I am not pressing with my hand here. Hand might just lightly rest on the thigh. Take one more breath in and out. Good. We'll take that leg back up to the sky. Walk your hand up towards the ankle, knee soft. On your next inhale, let's tuck the chin and curl up, bringing the forehead towards your leg. And maybe the leg starts to sink down a little closer to the forehead here for one last breath on this side. Beautiful. Let's drop the shoulders down to the floor, foot down to the floor, and we'll do the same on the other side very slowly. Left leg up, hold on to maybe interlacing at the thigh to start. Ankle moves a bit. Maybe you're continuing those long, slow, even breaths. We're going to try to continue those throughout class the best that we can. At some point, you might choose to bend and extend here, keeping the ankle flexed. We'll get an extra stretch through the back of the leg. And then eventually we'll just still that motion, let the leg draw slightly closer. I've got my left knee bent here. This will help spread the stretch evenly across your hamstring instead of just tugging at the attachment points. Long breaths here. Just a couple more. One more full inhale. And complete exhale back out. Crossing left ankle over on top of the right leg. Taking the left hand onto your thigh, just moving it in and out a little bit. We're not pressing it out towards its fullest. Just getting a little bit of a movement into the hip to help lubricate inside the joint there. After a few moments, you'll just pause. You can rest your hand lightly on your thigh, but don't push with your hand. Just let it hang out to the left. Maybe you're pressing a little bit just with the muscles of the left leg to open it up a little bit more. One more breath here. And then let's take that leg back up to the sky for our last hamstring stretch of the moment. Walking your hands up your leg. Soften your knee on your inhale. Tuck chin, curl. Use your core to lift up. As you exhale, soften the knee. Maybe you're drawing it a little closer to you as you get nice and deep. As deep as feels right early in the practice. One more breath in. Exhale, everything descends. Beautiful. All right, knees to chest. Give yourself a rock side to side. Or if you're someone who enjoys rocking forward and back, you could always rock forward and back. We're going to warm up the spine now, making your way over onto one side and then up into a tabletop position, and in no rush, of course. Once you arrive, you'll take your hips, or your knees rather, hips width apart. Hands are shoulders width apart, but maybe walk them a little bit ahead of the shoulders. It's going to back off your wrists, but you'll also notice your core needs to engage a bit more there. So that's good stuff. Let's inhale and arch, elbows bend, look up. Here's your cow. Exhale, curl and round for cat. We'll get several of these and take them in a way that feels right for you. I tend to move a bit forward and back as I do this, but let your cow and cat unfold for you in a way that organically feels right in your body. When we have pressure on the hands, we want to engage into the fingertips. So I press more firmly on my cats to find that. And then I'll relax the effort on the cow. And as I exhale and find cat, really pressing, strengthening the hands. Let's just get two more, arching and looking up. Exhale, curling, tucking the chin. Last time here, let's inhale and arch it up. Exhale, find your cat, and we will pause. Press all 10 fingertips into the floor. Try to roll the shoulders away from each other here. One more big breath in and out. Nice. Let's inhale back to neutral. Curl the toes underneath. And then just start to press back a little and maybe walking the hands a little forward. So we're just pressing into the back of the feet here, stretching out the toes a little bit. feeling that down dog sensation through the arms and the back. Good. Let's inhale back to tabletop. Uncurl the toes. You can pound them on the floor for a moment. It's kind of loud in here today. It sounds like drums. Love it. Once you're done with that, and as many little taps as you like, my feet are feeling nice and tingly now. We'll curl the toes under, hover the knees up off the floor. Start to again press super long, stretching back through spine and arms. And then we will start to lift the hips as we pedal out our feet in our first downward facing dog of our practice today. Your head is heavy. It might choose to swing left to right. Maybe you make little spirals and circles with your head, just allowing any worries that you have to just flake away, fall down into the earth. No need to carry them with you here. Fully breathing in and out the whole time. One more breath here, pedaling it out. Nice. Okay, let's still the feet. Bend the knees a lot. Send the hips back. From here, we're going to lift the right leg up to the sky. It's our three-leg dog. Let's take a moment to just level the hips. So we're taking both legs straight and long and back. I'm just going to pop back a little further here so you can see me a little bit better. I was getting cut off a bit. After you do this, so here we're really feeling hamstring stretching out. You may bend your top knee now to open the hip if that feels good for you. So we're reaching the right foot up and over towards the left shoulder. And we'll come back to level the hips in three-leg dog. And then exhale, we'll take that back down. And let's just practice on the other side. So left leg all the way up. Hips are even and level here. You might come up and down on the ball of the standing foot. Feeling both hamstrings actively open. Maybe you bend the top leg there and open up the hip, reaching for opposite shoulder. Nice. Inhale back to a long leg, three-leg dog. And exhale, let's take it to down dog. Coming to the top of the mat here, soften the knees, look forward on your inhale. As you exhale, you're just going to walk your way forward. Inhaling to a half lift. And exhale, take it on down. So keep the knees bent. Let your head be very heavy. You can shake it a little side to side. You might walk your hands side to side. So really just do what feels best for you in any given moment, listening to my cues and taking the ones that work, modifying, changing it up if it doesn't. Or if there's anything else that you really feel like doing in any given moment and it makes sense for you, please do so. Let's inhale to a half lift here. And as you exhale, soften and fold it down. Let's try that again. Inhale halfway, super strong in the belly, so I could set something right on your back and nothing's going to spill. And then exhale, take your fold. Take one more breath in and out. Let's rise all the way up. Soften the knees a little. As you inhale, press away from the floor to rise. Inner belly helps you. Arms extend up at the last little sip of air. And exhale, hands draw to heart center. Take a few breaths there. And one more. Let's find our for core strength, sun salutation, A together. On your inhale, we'll sweep two arms super duper high. Lift the gaze. As you exhale, pour yourself down with soft knees, forward fold. Inhale to half lift, hands to shins. As you exhale, we find down dog. Hands plant, walk your way back there. Waving our plank to activate the transverse abdominal muscles. We'll soften the knees as we inhale. Crown of the head reaches forward. So this is just to kind of give you the buoyancy that you need here. On your next natural exhale, begin to lift the hips, tuck the chin a bit, and wave through to your high plank. Nice work. That was beautiful. Make sure your hips don't sag down there. That's a lot of pressure for lower back. Squeeze everything nice and strong. Again, I could come and sit on you here. You're not going anywhere. On your next natural exhale, knees come down to the floor, tops of feet to the floor. And then we'll lower down slow. Thighs, pelvis, belly, chest. Tuck your chin. Inhale with the strength of your back. Lift up to cobra pose. Exhale, come down. Let's try that one more time. Inhale, lift up cobra. So there's a lot of stuff going on up there. And then exhale, press up and back. Beautiful. So it's great to work strengthening the core on the front and the back side of the body. Those cobra rolls, super amazing for back strength. Let's find one more just like that from the top of the mat. So we'll inhale, look forward, soften the knees. Exhale, step the feet forward. Inhale halfway, hands onto shins. Exhale, soften, fold down. Let's inhale all the way up. Exhale, hands to heart center before our second set, coming into a chair pose, feet, hips width apart here. I like to start over all the time by inhaling the arms up. It's a fresh start, new air, new start. Exhale, sit the hips back here, and you want to keep the belly engaged so that the lower back is protected. Sometimes even take a hand to the front and a hand to the back to make sure I'm not tucking out or curling under. Neither one of those look very good, do they? No, that does not look cozy. We're trying to find that nice, even, natural curve in the spine. So your spine is curved, but we want the natural curve here. And the thighs are saying, okay, my spine's not curved anymore. How long are you going to keep me here? And we're going to say, it's all right, thighs. We're going to breathe. You want to make sure that your shoulders are drawn down a little bit here so that you're not pinching up into the ears. You're strengthening the upper back. Once again, last breath. Nice. Inhale, come all the way up and out. Stretch that out. Exhale, dive down and fold. Let's get that sun style together. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, hands plant, down dog. Let's inhale, soften the knees, long spine. Exhale, curl and lift, roll to plank. Bright, shiny plank right off the shelf, super strong and straight. When you're ready on an exhale, knees drop, and then your whole self drops. Tuck chin, inhale, lift, cobra pose. Exhale, press up and back, downward facing dog. Big breath in and out. One more breath. Back to the top we go. Inhale, look forward, knees soften. Exhale, walk the feet to the hands. We'll inhale halfway. Exhale, soften and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, hands, heart center, lower belly draws in and up. We're coming to another chair. This time we're going to move in it and twist a bit to get our spine warm in a twist. We'll take the arms up, fresh air, fresh everything. Exhale, sit your way back into your chair. So for this one, we're going to take the tips of the fingers together like you're making a flame there. You're going to take a big inhale, and as you exhale, you're going to twist over towards one side. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale to twist. Side view here, so still got that nice natural length in the spine. We're trying to get the twist to happen in the mid back, not the low back. Last few, go nice and slow. You could always back off your seat a little bit if you need to. If you feel any pressure in the front of the ankles or front of the knees, you're probably jutting forward. So just send those hips back. Last one. Nice. Let's inhale all the way up. And exhale, dive all the way down. Take a big breath in. And out. Soften the knees. Stay here for a moment. Maybe you grab a hold of opposite elbows, finding your ragdoll. We're stretching out through the hamstrings here a bit, letting the spine be long. If you're holding opposite elbows, that can help add a little extra weight up into the top of the back to help separate the shoulders away. See if you can direct your breath into that area. So we start the breath to fill the belly, but then it moves all the way up into the upper back. Alrighty, let's release that grip. Inhale, halfway strong belly. Exhale, down dog, hands down. Step your way back. Let's inhale the right leg up to the sky here. Exhale, knee into the nose. You're going to hold that just for a moment. Try to get the hips high. The higher up you can get your hips, easier it's going to be for you to then step your right foot towards your right foot or right hand. Back heel will stay up here. And let's lift our way up into our crescent lunge. So you want to make sure that your front foot is pointing forward. Your knee is right over the ankle. Back heel stays up here. Keep lifting up through front spine. We're going to move a bit here, and you need to protect and love that lower back. Inhale, energetically reach up. Exhale, bow forward with a long spine. Try not to collapse there. Inhale, lift back up. The back knee might dip a little. Exhale, bow. 2 more only. Inhale, lift up. Going nice and slow. Only bow to your degree. Last time. And then bow. Let's come back to crescent here so we can just kind of stretch it out. Arms nice and open, shoulders roll down. So again, we want to make sure that we're not crunching. Always give yourself that opportunity to create space in the chest, strengthen the upper back. Last few breaths here. One more. Alrighty, let's bow forward again. And we're making our way to warrior 3 from here. Hands at heart. Start to press into the front foot. Back foot takes a few little steps forward. Flex the back ankle and start to lift. Keep maintaining that lift through low belly. Gaze neutral to the floor. If you need arms out to the side to help you stay steady, totally cool. One more breath here. And we're going to land in our warrior 2. So the back foot lands with the heels in line, and then we're going to open it up. So now that we are in our warrior 2, we can check in. We want to have our knee and our foot pointing the exact same way. Back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat. Or it might start to turn inward. We'll just stay here for a few breaths. Let's come in and out just a couple times to help open up these hips. We'll inhale, straighten the front leg, arms up. Exhale, bend. Push your hands through cement there, nice and slow. 2 more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, push. 1 more. Hold our warrior 2. Shoulders away from ears. Your gaze comes towards your thumb maybe here. Soften the look on your face. So we can hold a lot of tension in the face, but we can also hold joy. And it's our choice, right? So maybe your eyes are smiling here. Maybe your lips are too. Mine are. I don't know if you can tell. 1 more breath here. Awesome. All right, so we're going to come into a wide stance here. Take your right toes, pick them up, pivot on your heel. Open your arms nice and wide. So now heels are in line, edges of feet parallel to edges of mat. Inhale, open everything up. Exhale, soften your knees. Begin to bow your way down. We're going to get into the inner thighs a bit. You can bend one knee and then the other. Just doing these lunges here. You can stay on one side for a little bit if you feel ready for that. And then you can go to the other. So I do these every single day, and I have for many, many years. So I'm pretty low here. You might be a little higher, and that's totally cool. Wherever you are, you want to meet your body where it is. Don't try to force your body or your mind into a place that's not ready to go. After a moment, we'll stop our side lunging. Take a moment just to pause here. Your hands can be on the floor. You might be able to reach for the feet, or you can even reach your hands underneath you to pull if you're very bendy in your hamstrings. If your hamstrings need a little break, you might want to bring your hands onto a block, soften the knees. Alrighty. Let's get ready to come up here. Inhale, lift halfway. As you exhale, hands onto the hips. And on your next natural inhale, press the floor away, lift all the way up. So if you have a block, you're going to bring it up near your right foot. If you don't have a block, you can just use your shin. You could also use like a small stool or something if you are at home. We're coming back to warrior two, so the right toes point to the short end of the mat. Knee follows the toes, arms nice and wide. Let's flip the front palm, inhale, reverse back. As you exhale, take your hand down onto your block in your extended side angle, or you can rest your hand lightly on the front shin. We're going to find a little warm up for our triangle pose. We'll begin with an inhale, reaching for the sky. As you exhale, you're going to reach forward now, so that's towards the long end of the mat. Inhale, straighten the right leg, peel open like you're peeling back a bow, and then exhale, come on down. Inhale, lift up towards the sky. Exhale, reach down to the earth. So it's like you're offering the earth energy up to the sun, and you're just a conduit for this energy as we continue to move to just warm up that leg for our triangle. And then we'll make our way to arrive in triangle. And if you don't have your block, your hands on your front shin. You want a slight bend in the knee, so you don't want to hyperextend. That can cause injury in the back of your leg. Stay for another moment. And the blocks are not to put all of your weight on. Let me just mention it. It's a light press up and away. One more breath in and out. We're coming to reverse warrior on the inhale. Bend your right knee. Inhale, lift, up and back, super mindfully. Exhale, let's find down dog. Cartwheel your hands to the front foot and step your way back. One breath in and out. Other side. Inhale, left leg all the way up. Exhale, knee into the nose. Pause, see if you can get the hips super high. That'll help you get your foot towards your hand. Come up to crescent, back heel stays lifted. No rush ever. You can do that outside this room. In the practice, we take our time. Inhale here. Exhale, you're going to bow forward without collapsing. Squeeze and engage. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bow down, nice and long. Two more. And let any little movement that needs to happen at the joints happen here. Let's come back to crescent. We're going to hold this, opening up the shoulders again. Palms face towards each other. Maybe you're smiling beneath that mask. I'm looking for him. I see one. One more breath. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bow forward a little, preparing for warrior three. Hands to heart pressed together will help cinch up that deep belly. When you're ready, you launch off the back foot, but slow. Take your time. You could even leave it here and never fully take it up off the ground. Or we do. We try to get the toes to point down, just like when we were in our three-leg dog and leveling the hips. We pause. We pause again. And eventually we land in warrior two. Beautiful. Make sure you like where your feet are, so please rearrange them. You can even roll the hips out or do whatever you need. Reach nice and long here. Try not to reach your body forward If I wasn't looking at your legs, I would think you were just standing straight up with your arms ready to give me a big hug. From here, we're just going to take another couple of breaths. Inhaling, reaching up and straightening. Exhale, bend and push. Let's get two more. Final one. I don't know, I love that so much. It just feels so good. We'll stay for a moment. Press to the outer edge of the back foot, the ball of the front foot, right where the big toe is really meeting the foot. Let's come to our wide stance. Pick up your left toes, pivot on your heel. This time we're taking the hands behind us. Inhale, roll the shoulders open. As you exhale, bend the knees. Start to stick your butt back as you fall forward here. You can again add some lunges side to side. You can even kind of tick-tock your hands a little side to side. So if you bend the right knee, hands tick-tock and twist over to one side. I don't know why I think that's a tick-tock. That's what my brain calls it. I guess it reminds me of the hands of the clock here. And you'll pause down the middle for a few. Last couple of moments. Good, and one more here. If you have your hands interlaced, you will keep them there. If not, let's take them to the hips. Bend your knees a little bit. Inhale. Exhale this time. Press up through the inner arches. Feel it all the way up the inner thighs to the belly as you stand. Spread your wings. Pick up the left toes. Pivot on your heel. We are back to our warrior two. If you have your block, set it up near your left foot here. Let's come back down. So we're going to bring our hand down onto the block here, extended side angle. You could always take your hand onto the shin if you don't have your block. Take a big breath in. Exhale, reach down towards the earth. Pick some of it up and then sweep it up, straighten the left leg, reach it to the sky. Exhale, come down, grab some more. Inhale, peel open. Feel yourself peeling open. We'll get one more like that. Or if you're like, you know what, I want to do 10 more. Do 10 more. All good. Arrive in your triangle. Check in. Are you hyperextending your knee? Please don't. You could always come way up and back off quite a bit. So we are all different individual people. Our poses should look a little different. One more in here. And out. Bend your front knee now. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, cartwheel down. Take your time. Step it on back. Downward facing dog. Big breath in. And out. One more breath. On your next breath in, look forward, soften your knees. As you exhale, walk feet to your hands. Inhale, halfway, super strong belly, butt sticks back a bit. Exhale, fold it on down. Let yourself be heavy, head can shake out. We're just going to be here for a breath, maybe two if you want. Getting ready to rise here. If you are working with any grip, release it. Inhale, halfway again. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press to your feet, rise slowly. Inhaling completes as the arms reach. And exhale, hands down to heart center. We're coming into a little bit of standing balance. Before we do, we are going to come into our pyramid pose. So to find it, Parsvattanasana, feet hips width apart or so. We're going to balance on or have the right leg forward first. So we'll just take hands to prayer at heart, scoop, lift, low belly in. Just a tiny little balance to get there. So lift up the left knee and then slowly take it back. I'm just going to switch here. So right foot forward, left foot stepped back. So you want to make sure it's not super far back. Much shorter stance than a warrior here. The front toes point forward. The back toes point almost all the way forward, wherever is natural for you. You'll then take your hands into your back pockets. Roll your shoulders open. Big breath in there. As you exhale, you're going to bow forward. You want to keep a little bend in the front knees. You take a long spine. Keep pressing your hips back, trying to level out the hips. Hands might come down to the floor or some blocks here. You can keep your hands at your back if you wish, or let them find some place to help you feel a little less pressure, maybe. A place to help hold you up so it's just not all about your feet. Take 2 more breaths here. Last one. I'm going to try a revolve triangle from here. So we'll inhale, lift to half lift. Block now is coming underneath your left hand. I'm going to take it right up on the highest side, but you can do whatever feels right. We're then going to take our right hand onto the right hip as we twist right from that mid-spine, and then maybe you lift the hand up. Now, if you don't have a block, you can try to keep your fingers tented on the floor. That might mean you need to bend the front knee more. That's cool too. If you're at home, you can really use anything here to bring the floor up a little higher, even a little table or something. Last breath in. Exhale, hand comes down. We're going to try a standing split today. So front leg's still getting some work. Start to walk your hands forward, maybe with the block. Bend both knees. Mindfully lift left leg. Toes try to point down. Lengthen out your spine. So you might stay here. If you have 2 blocks, you might look something like this. Hands on the blocks. You bow down just to a place that feels okay. Remember, standing knee can bend as much as is necessary. Getting a really big stretch through the hamstring on standing leg here. I know some of you sometimes like to play with balance and take your hand to the standing ankle. You can do that if you want. Sometimes just one hand is plenty to play with that. We're going to come out now, so get ready. Inhale, lift your spine halfway if you can. Exhale, press everything back down to the floor. Floor lands, let yourself hang, knees super bent. Can even wiggle and jiggle a little bit there. And we're going to just notice both legs. Right leg feels way different than the left, right? So let's try the other side. To come up, inhale, press away, lift up, scoop up all of our energies. Let's take them to the heart here to start again. So we'll balance on the left leg here. Right knee lifts up. Start your step back. It's not a big step back, just a little. You can always move the feet later. Hands to back pockets. Roll the shoulders down. Lift your heart. As you exhale, begin to push the hips back as you come forward. Front knee has to bend a little bit. Both hips are trying to come back evenly there, so we're not off to one side twisted. Nice and even. Maybe blocks here. Taking a moment, just thinking about, or not thinking about, but being in the pose, as you can think about it. Noticing what you notice and adjusting where you need to. After one more breath here, we'll be making our way into our revolve triangle. So find your block if you need to. Let's inhale halfway. Right hand onto block. Left hand lifts to hip. Start to twist towards the left. Try not to let the hips move much here. Mid-spine, that twist comes from. I had a teacher that used to call your arm jewelry. It's merely an accessory. So if you're not ready to lift it, might feel better to keep it at the hip. But if you're feeling awesome and you just want to kind of decorate yourself and get a little bigger, you can lift that arm up. One more. Last breath in. Exhale, hand comes on down. Let's get ready for that standing split. And you can use your blocks here if you want to. I'm going to use them on this side to show you. Hands are on the block, they walk a little forward. Bend knees, lift the foot up mindfully. Flex the ankle. Start to lift. Standing knee might need to bend a lot. So just play around. There's always micro adjustments happening in your practice. So we never just stay fully in one place. Somebody looking at you might think you are, but there's always some subtle little tweak there. If you're feeling pretty good here, you might try one hand or two. Whoa, whoa, Nelly. Onto the standing ankle. One more breath. As you inhale, just a little wave of a half lift. Exhale, you can just bend that knee, place it down to the floor. Nice work. Let's inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Deep breath in and out. Good. Let's inhale halfway. Exhale, fold on down. Inhale, rise all the way up, scoop up the air. And exhale, hands, heart center. Let's just take a moment to pause. You might decide you want to close your eyes here. So maybe physically that was a lot, or emotionally or mentally that was a lot. We're just taking it in, absorbing, being. Feet firmly grounded, shoulders soft. One more breath here. We make our way into a malasana pose. So you'll just take your feet slightly wider, toes out. And you're going to begin to sit your hips back. You can start with your hands on the knees maybe, or you bring them down to the floor. And we're just sitting down pretty deep here. You can take your hands to prayer, press your elbows into inner thighs, stay for a few moments. So you might be really comfortable, you might not be really comfortable. We just notice. You could always sit up on blocks, as many as you need to pile up. Even a small stool, so you don't have to put a lot of pressure into the feet here to get the hip opening that you want. So you can just kind of lean forward and press the elbows in. Or you can let gravity help. Just another moment or two. And one more. Let's make our way back to standing and take your hands to the floor to make it a little easier. Pivot the heels out, lift up towards this half lift, bendy knees. You can fold down if you wish. On your next breath in, we'll come all the way up, nice and tall, arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. We're going to make our way down from here. So coming to the top of your mat, if you're not already there, we'll sweep the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, bow your way down. Inhaling to your half lift. Exhale, step the feet to downward facing dog. Taking a big breath. Letting it out. Really working this down dog. Trying to roll the shoulders away from each other. Elbows are rolling in a little bit. Pits of the elbows. Face a little bit more forward. Not all the way, but just kind of the intention of drawing them forward. Let's inhale the right leg all the way up. Exhale, knee into the chest, hips high. Step to your hand. And we're coming to low lunge. So you can drop the left knee down here. If this is not enough cushion for your knee, you can just roll the edge of your mat in a few times. You can use a block, a blanket, whatever you happen to have. Make myself comfortable. Okay, that's feeling good. We're going to bring this into twist. See, if you want to use your block, you'll go ahead and bring that right underneath your left hand. Maybe the right hand starts at the thigh as you just start to twist from that mid-spine, drawing the top shoulder back. You can either keep your hand on your thigh for a little extra push, or you can reach it up to see if you can grab some stars. Maybe your gaze is up, but if your neck isn't comfortable that way, you can look down. You want to have an intentional gaze. One more. Final breath and low twist. Good. Inhale, reach energetically up if your hand is up. Exhale, circle hand down. We're going to make our way into a lizard pose from here. So you'll take both hands to the inside of your front foot and then start to walk it out. Your right toes will point out maybe a little bit here towards like maybe 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. I tend to come onto the edge of my foot a few times. I rock and roll there. See if I want to be on the edge of the right foot or the sole of the right foot, and each day is a different day for me. And then maybe you come deeper. It's pretty deep to get your forearms all the way down to the ground. You could stay up on your hands, or if you want to come kind of halfway in between those two, you could bring a block up underneath the forearms. So the back leg is very long, stretching out through the hip flexors on that side. Just allow yourself to be as comfortable as you can. Last 2 breaths here. And one more round. And then working towards our half split, we'll take the hands to the floor if they're on the block. Start to lift yourself back up onto your hands. You're going to now take your right foot back inside, so your hands are on the outside of your foot again. And start to straighten out the right leg. So you can keep your right foot pressed to the floor or let the toes lift and just press the heel. Maybe you're keeping that micro bend or a big bend maybe in the right leg. So getting really deep into the hamstring now. We did the hip, now we're back at the hamstring. This is your half split pose. If any of you are working towards full split, you could start to extend the left leg back. Full split is a super deep pose for me. I do like to play with it using with my friends the blocks. So I'll show you what that looks like. You can get 1 or 2. I'm going to place them under the front thigh there. Start to very slowly extend the back leg back. It's just something to play with, right? So there's no way in heck I could get down to the floor this way. But with the blocks up under my front thigh, I'm here. And I can do it. You might need 5 blocks, right? It's okay. Last 2 breaths here. One more. You got it, Mary Ellen. Let's take the hands down. Come out so slow. Want to bend the front knee? Yeah, this is the hard part, getting out. I know. So slow so we don't hurt ourselves. We're back here, and we're going back to down dog. So we'll pick up the back knee, curl the toes, take the leg back. Oh, goodness. Let's walk it out. Oh, that was so good. I can't wait to do the other side. All righty. Left leg. Big stretch up there. Really get it up. Exhale. Curl. Knee in. Hip super high. To try to get the foot up to the hand best you can. back heel, or back knee rather, drops down. Low lunge twist is first. Remember, you can always cushion that back knee if you need to. Maybe your right hand is on a block, left hand to thigh. You always want to lengthen on the inhale. Start your twist on the exhale. Take your left shoulder down and away from your ears here. Maybe you're reaching your arm up to the sky. You can look for the sky to the side or down. Last big breath in. Exhale, hand circles down and back. We start to find lizard. So we walk the left foot out more left. Toes point out maybe. You can roll onto the edge of the foot a few times, either staying on the edge of the foot, that's deeper, opens the knee up more, or sole of the foot down if it's better for you. You might, over several breaths, come down deeper. It might take you 2, it might take you 10, you might never get there. We're all built differently. But with time, practice, dedication, and love for your body and where it is, you will progress. We'll take another few moments here. Try not to dump the weight in the shoulders or pressing away. Last few moments here. One more. Getting ready for our half split. Come back up onto your hands if you're on the forearms. Start to wiggle the left foot back in between the hands, so it's where it would be hips width apart. You'll start to straighten out the left knee and draw the hips back. So right now, just concentrating on the hamstring stretch in the front leg. You can press your foot down or lift the toes, kind of drag the heel down into the mat a bit. This might be where you stay. Or if you are a super flexible hamstring type, or if you've got several blocks to play with, you might set them under the left thigh as you very, very carefully start to lengthen back the right. You can keep your hands down, but if you wish, you can lift them up. 4 long inhales and exhales here. Last few. Always drawing energy up through front spine. Last breath. Okay, the tricky part is coming out. Do it slow. Hands come down if they lifted. We take the back knee forward a little, front ankle back a little, slowly bringing them closer towards each other until you can get back onto your low lunge. That's where I wanted to go there. Curl the back toes, lift up. Come to down dog. If you like a 3-leg dog in between, you can take it. We're actually going to all take one in a moment. Next up will be your half pigeon pose. If you prefer a figure 4 stretch, you can come onto your back and take your right ankle over on top of the left leg instead. If you would like to take your half pigeon with me, you will take the right leg sky high, find down dog, option to open up the hip and even wiggle that foot around a bit if you wish. When you're ready, you'll shift forward, knee up into the chest, set your knee behind your right wrist, and the left leg lengthens back the way it may have done in your half split. Now again, I need blocks here. I take them under the right thigh. Then rearrange myself. I want the right thigh parallel to the long edge of the mat. And then wherever my shin ends up is where it ends up, and I'm happy with it. You want to lift up nice and tall. As you're ready, you'll begin to bow forward. And you want to make sure that you're not hanging onto one side and putting all of your weight into the right side. That's why I have the block here. If I didn't have the block, I would be hanging over to the right, and that would just be all kinds of bad for my hips. I have very sensitive hips, and I think that over time we all could have sensitive hips if we don't take care of them. So even if you think, oh, this doesn't bother me, I don't need my block, over time it may. So save yourself that and just protect yourself now. Try to soften anything that's not needed. So your heart might start to melt a little bit more forward. You want to let your forehead rest. So if it doesn't hit the floor, you might choose to fold your arms underneath your head here. Or let a block come underneath your head. And you don't have to come down as far as I'm coming either. You could be something more here and just resting your forehead up on a block. So feel free to play around with your position. You don't have to just go to where you think you're supposed to be and stay there if it isn't working for you. We'll take one more breath here. Good. So to come up, we're going to start to walk our hands towards the hips. Tuck your chin a little. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale. So we're going to take this into a seated twist from here. I'm going to slide my block out from underneath me. For now, you can always place it back in later. You're going to swing the left leg around to the front. Cross it over the other leg. Now, if you're sitting here and it already feels uncomfortable for you, I'd like you to come out for a moment. Straighten out the right leg instead of keeping it folded. Then set yourself back up. That knee can just come into the chest. Ankle might stay on this side of the leg or cross over. So you might look like this, or maybe you're where we started and you're here. We're going to take our right hand behind us, left hand, or other way around, left hand behind us, right hand onto knee. Inhale, lift up. And then as you exhale, we're twisting over towards the left side. So just twisting towards the high knee. Breathing in and out. On every inhale, there's an opportunity to lengthen. On the exhales, an opportunity to soften or find a slightly deeper twist. Last few moments here. And one more round. Good. Let's inhale our gaze back to the front. And then exhale. You can just unfold our legs and we're coming back to down dog. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, or you can come back down onto your back and take it from there with the left ankle crossed over on top of the right leg in figure 4. Let's take the left leg sky high. Maybe open the hip for a moment. You could do whatever little movement feels lovely. At some point, you lengthen it long. Exhale, knee draws forward. As higher the hips are, easier it is to get your knee up as high as you need it behind the left rest. Bringing as many little cushions, whether it be a block, pillow, rolled up towel, or blanket under the left thigh. Trying to spin the back leg so the center of your quadricep is pointing down. You'll take a breath in to prepare. Never rush yourself forward. Take it slowly. And no, you don't even have to bow forward. You can come to a half bow forward, maybe something here. That might be perfect for you. Or you could also stay up in your proud pigeon. Up to you. Let yourself find the place that feels good for your body, making any adjustments necessary. We're going to come back to long, slow belly breaths. We've got 4 more breaths here. 3 more. 2 more. Last few. I think maybe 1 more. I'm very comfortable, but I do have to get you guys out of here sometime. So let's start to come back out. Walk your hands up to the hips here. We're coming to our same seated twist on this side. I like to take the block out for the transition. You'll take the back leg forward, swing it around to go to the opposite side of the bent knee. And if you need to rearrange yourself, like I showed you on the other side, you can go ahead and do that. We're going to twist to the other side here. Left hand to the knee, right hand behind. Always lengthen before you twist. Inhale. Exhale. We twist over to the right. Breath in. Breath out. Last few. Long inhales. Complete exhales. Just 1 more here. Good. Let's inhale, look forward. Exhale, let's unravel everything. And we're coming to a seated fold. If seated folds bother your lower back at all, you're going to sit up onto the edge of a block. And if you're on the block, you don't want to sit all the way up on it necessarily, but kind of at the edge so that your pelvis can start to tilt forward. That's going to help you get out of the spine. And if you don't need it, you don't need it, but it's a great prop to use for this. You want your knees to be a little bit bent here. We'll take a breath in, lift the arms up. As you exhale, begin to bow forward. You can use your hands on the floor, or you can just extend forward with the arms up and just come to a place that works for you. You can keep your knees bent a lot. You can even bring something underneath the knees, even a nice gentle block. This feels really, really good. This allows me to be able to rest my chest down on the thighs with a soft knee, so I'm not overstretching the hamstrings here. To get a deeper stretch in the hamstrings, you flex your ankle, so that will stretch, that makes the muscle a little more taut. You can do that for a little bit and then kind of relax that effort. If you don't have a block and it's just really uncomfortable to be all the way down forward, you can bend your knees quite a bit and just kind of lengthen forward with a long spine. This might be the perfect place for your body. We'll just take another 2 here, wherever you are. 1 more. Let's come up on our inhale. Inhale, sweep up, lift up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's start to come back onto our backs. Make your way there ever so slowly. Coming back to our very first pose of the morning, knees onto the chest. Give yourself a rock. Massage out the spine, rocking side to side, or however you want to rock here. Long inhales. Complete exhales. And I always like to sneak in one bridge pose here. So let's sneak it in before we find rest. This is our last active pose. Bend your knees, feet come right underneath the knees or slightly further away, hands alongside you. Start with an inhale to prepare, and then as you exhale, we'll curl the tailbone towards us. Lift yourself up. So this is stretching out the hip flexors. It's strengthening the hamstrings and the glutes. This is a great stability exercise for your hips. So if you have any need to strengthen the hips, I think we all do. You can always come into bridge. You can do this during your yoga practice. You can do this while you're watching TV. Any old time. Two more here. One more full round. Let's see if we can push up slightly higher on this inhale. Stay for the exhale. Big puffed up chest. Last breath finally in. Exhale slowly. Come on down. Let's take your hands to the tops of the thighs. Gently press away a little. Just lengthening the spine a bit. Another big inhale. And exhale. Our last stretch before Shavasana today, we'll use a block. If you have one, you can do it without if you don't. So you just lift yourself up onto your block. You want it on the very lowest height as we come into our wind removing pose on the block. We'll stretch the left leg out long as you take the right knee around the rib cage and then up into the chest, interlacing your fingers on the shin and pulling the knee actively up, stretching the left leg actively long. Flex the ankle joint there. This is a great stretch for the psoas. We can also help to reset any SI joint problems that you may have in this position, especially if you're up on this block. It can get a little deeper in there. If you'd like to give that a try, we're going to take the straight leg and tap it out and in a couple times. So just gently lift the heel and we tap it out, out, and out, and in, and in. And we're still stretching it long as we tap it out 3 times. Still stretching it long as we tap it in 3 times. And we'll just get one more like that. Oh yeah, that feels good. And then come back to tap it in. Big long stretch between both sides. And we're just going to take the other side. So we can just start by taking the right foot to the floor with the knee bent. Left knee starts to come in, interlace on the shin. Squeeze around the ribs, then back to center and straighten out the right. I'm going to take a moment here, simply in your wind removing pose. Full inhales. Exhales. Last few. I'm getting ready for our reset. We're going to tap it out 3 times and in. Here we go. Long leg taps out, out, and out, and in, and in. We try to keep it a quiet tap if we can. And in, in, and give it one more go. Out, out, out. In. Big squeeze, big stretch. And now we'll lengthen both legs. Both arms reach behind you. Let yourself just stay propped up on your block. No effort, all ease. If you're not with your block, you can do the exact same thing here, just laying fully down on the mat. Another breath in and out. Maybe one more. And coming into our final rest, Shavasana, you'll bend your knees to bring your feet to the floor to just take the block out, set it off to the side. If there's any last thing you need, whether it's a hug, a squeeze, a twist, whatever it is, you'll do what you need there. And then we will eventually come back to where we started, either with your feet on the floor, slightly wider than hips width so that the knees can knock in gently, or you can extend them fully. Maybe you let yourself pick your shoulders up off the floor, move them as far away from your ears as you can before you gently set them back down. Start to relax your eyebrows and your jaw, neck and shoulders. As you just settle back down into some easy breaths, allowing that sense of peace to flow down through your arms. Your palms will face up and there's a gentle, natural curl to your fingers. As you continue to take some nice, long, slow, even breaths, the exhale spread that sense of peace down through the torso, soothing the belly that sometimes feels a little anxious, across the pelvis that might sometimes feel tight. Hopefully, after all that, it is not feeling tight any longer. And it just sends that loving, healing energy all the way down the legs to feet and toes. Just allowing yourself to be here now, feeling the light radiating from inside you outward. And then feeling the energy from outside coming in to fill you with love and acceptance, filling you with peace and joy. All that peace and joy that we take in, we are able to send back out into the world. And each person that we touch with that love and joy can then touch another. And in this way, we can impact many. Let's be here for the last few moments. Staying exactly as you are here. Let's just simply take our right hand and place it back over the heart. And then the left hand will place over on top of the right, just staying reclined. Reconnecting here to heart center. We will end our class by uniting our energies again in the sound of Om. Let's prepare with an inhale and an exhale. Inhale for your Om. I thank you all so much for joining me this morning, for sharing your practice and your energy with me. The love and the light within me deeply honors the love and the light that I feel from all of you. Let's bow to each other with the word namaste, bowing even if you are reclined. Namaste. There's a way to do it. Thank you, my friends. Have a glorious day. Thank you, all dear yogis, so much. I'll see you next time.